All right, so I've got a question asking, how does APA help us in the real world? Well, asking that, you have to know why APA matters, I guess. So APA generally is a sociocultural norm established by a group of experts in that area who are trying to maximize the efficiency of communication. That's the fancy way of saying it. So any practice you get at learning to recognize the why behind systems like that matters, is good, is important. The real world is, or everyday life as I prefer to call it, since school is real world, APA is part of real world for, and everyday life for some people. So depending on where you're aiming at, APA format may not do as much for a mechanic or someone who is working at the fry machine at McDonald's or even in the drive-thru. But practicing getting attuned to sociocultural norms and common forms of communication, that is extremely important. And being able to be precise about it and recognizing that there are systems to things, that is extremely important. Now, since most of the time APA is being taught in college classes, and this is in the context of my English 101, or English 102, both, I guess, really. There's not a good way for me as a professor to know every situation a student might be in. So if we're going to study sociocultural norms connected to communication, I usually do a variety of examples, but when it comes to presenting academic research and scholarly presentations of information, leaning into one of the most common styles there are beyond the English major seems wise to me. So it's one that a variety of different fields will use. See other videos as far as that goes. But the short answer to why APA matters is because it helps you practice precision communication connected to a specific sociocultural norm that signals to others your identity as a scholar. That's the short version, even if it sounds a little fancy. Your everyday life, some of the practices that APA anchors to that help you attribute accurately the source of your knowledge, give credit where credit is due, consider the types of information necessary to properly track a source for a reader to be able to feel like it's credible. All of those things are going to happen as you try to adhere to the system. The other thing is, naturally, as part of APA format, you're going to be thinking about things like visual design components of formatting that if you internalize them, you're going to be better off because your communication's more likely to have the sort of spacing and page breaks and visual design, like margins and all that fun stuff. Internalizing those practices can help you long term because it gets you thinking about how people are digesting information and uptaking information and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of reasons that are kind of secondary that are beneficial for studying any sort of citation style. For APA, why APA? Because it's the most common one, and MLA is primarily used by English majors and history majors, at maybe a few history people, not everybody. APA is used by social sciences, natural sciences in early courses, and is generally more applicable for synthesis-based research papers, whereas MLA is better at close textual analysis. I said that was going to be the short version. I guess this is under 5 minutes, which for me is kind of a big deal. But this is going to be one of those faster Inquiring Minds things.